Hello and welcome back. This is Sherry with Heart and Soulful. I am in the studio today with something a little bit different for a video today. I have only been doing this paper craft stuff for a little over a year, and my YouTube channel was a year old in August, and so I haven't done very many other types of videos before. But if you've been following me from the beginning, you've probably heard me say I do lots of different things. So today I thought it would be fun to do just a little bit different kind of a show and tell thing. We are in the mountains here in Nevada, and we are looking at possibly a big snowstorm this weekend. So it got me to thinking I need to get on the ball here and kind of make sure my Etsy shop is all fully stocked and get ready for this cold weather and Christmas shopping. Usually by this time of year, I've had an open house where I invite all my neighbors and friends to come and shop in the studio. So I haven't done that this year, and I don't know if I'm going to with the going back and forth so much. So I thought I will just do a quick video, and then you can see what I have. So I'm going to kind of set some stuff aside here. One of the things that I do, you've heard me say probably that I make jewelry, but the other thing that I do is I like to knit in the evenings. And I'm going to put my computer here real quick, just so you can maybe see. Let's see here. See what my, oops, let's get rid of that. See what my Etsy shop looks like. So I'm just going to kind of hold it up here so you can kind of see that what it looks like. And if you go along here, you will see kind of the different items that I have. So I have knitted neckwear, buttons, necklaces, earrings. I don't have too much jewelry in there yet. I have a separate website for that, but I'm thinking about moving a lot of it over as I have time to Etsy, because I can now ship worldwide very easily through Etsy. So you can see one of the things I have are some buttons, and I'll kind of show you that in a bit. I've got my only two paper packs so far that I have in there. But then if we go, I'm just going to click over here to knitted neckwear. I have lots and lots of yummy, warm, cozy things, pages and pages of them for the winter. So they make great gifts. And they're just kind of something that I like to do in the evenings. So I'm going to show you kind of the different varieties. This neck warmer, this first style, it actually was a men's pattern that I've kind of modified and changed so that they're for men and women. And depending on the yarn that I use, even though it's exactly the same amount of stitches, they are maybe bigger and bulkier than others. So, for example, this one is kind of a lightweight yarn, but when I started making these, I walk and hike and that sort of thing. And these were just a nice thing if you were working in the house, or you don't want a big thing around your neck, but you just need a little bit of warmth. That little bit on the back of your neck, it's amazing how much that will just keep you feeling warm and cozy. So I started out with these 2-button ones, and this is, like I said, a little bit lighter of a yarn, so it's pretty thin. On the Etsy descriptions, I will put the width of the neck warmer, the length of the whole thing, and the neck opening. So they all, even though they're pretty much the same size, they're yarn, so they're stretchy. So if you ever have a concern about the size of the neck opening, you can find that in the description. And then if you see one and you're kind of concerned about if it's going to fit you or not, let me know in an email. You can message me and tell me what size that you're hoping that opening is, and I'll put it on a mannequin and show you a picture of exactly the opening so that you can see that it's going to fit you perfectly. So this is kind of one of the smaller ones with 2 buttons, and this is the same exact, you can see the comparison here, same exact, but it looks a little bulkier because it's with a thicker yarn. And this yarn is really, really soft. And it kind of has a little bit of a sheen to it and just all these little flecks in it. And for this one, I have done some pewter buttons that are hard. So these are full metal buttons. They're really just a nice quality button. And I have hearts in 2 different colors that I use, just trying to coordinate with the yarn. This is also a different yarn. It's also a bulkier yarn. But I like to do some that are, you know, maybe more colorful. And this is all in kind of earthier colors, but again with full metal buttons in a little different design. I'm not showing you all of them, but I just want to kind of show some up close so that you can kind of get an idea of how they look and feel in the hand. This one is also a bulkier yarn. This one I don't always repeat myself, but this one last year I sold quite a few of these, and I can't remember now if this yarn is still available or not. It might be. I know I don't have any more. This is the last one like this, but I may be able to order more yarn, but these buttons I can't find anymore. So these are just really beautiful buttons that looked great with this one. So I think I sold maybe 3 or 4 of these, and I kept getting requests, but this is the last one. And then another earthy tone one, again with just the 2 buttons, and these are leather buttons. So I try to do, you know, really a variety of colors, things that I would like to wear. You know, this would look great with a leather jacket or denim. And it looks, you can tell, even though it's still just the 2-button one, how much wider that is because of the type of yarn I use. Now this yarn is actually softer, maybe thinner feeling than this one. And it's just because it's kind of a crinkly yarn instead of being a real straight yarn. So that's that one. And then some of these 2-button ones, I'm gonna get these out of my way here. Oops. Some of these 2-button ones I've actually done using my own handmade buttons. So when I started doing paper craft, and I do work with resin in jewelry, I decided to make some really nice handmade buttons. So you can also, I've put them on some neck warmers, and I will keep doing that just because I like that. Then they're just very unique. But I'm also selling my buttons, and I'll show you some of those in a bit. But that is one with handmade buttons, and I have a few more, I think, to show you. I do a lot in black just because that goes with everything. This one looks a little bit smaller, and I may have made it a little bit smaller because I do have some very petite friends. So if you do need something smaller than what I normally have, you can just ask, and I can knit you something that's a little bit smaller scale. And then this one just has some kind of acrylic buttons, and I just find whatever I can in black that I like. And then let's see, these are also like an acrylic button that is kind of that marbly kind of look. So that's another one I do. And again, these are all, every one that I've shown is the same number of stitches, same number of rows. They just look different because of the type of yarn that I used. So some of them are better if you're out, you know, working with these on and doing a lot. The smaller ones are kind of nice. The bulkier ones, you know, look pretty, you know, with your coats and winter coat and that kind of thing. But they may be, you know, better for just you're out and about during the day. But the little ones, I mean, you can wear those all day in the house. So this is just another one, different color. This is, again, some pewter buttons that I used. So just to kind of give you an idea, another 2-button one. I love this yarn. This is a thicker yarn, and the color is not showing up in this light, but it's kind of a peacock teal color. It's just really pretty. And again, some different buttons. I actually have 2 with exactly this button in this color. And then this one, these were the end of some buttons that I don't have anymore. I don't know if I can get these anymore, maybe, but they kind of give it that little Western sheriff badge kind of look. So that one's kind of a denim color. And then let's see, I have more with some handmade buttons somewhere. Let's see, these are 3. These again, this is just another color. Now this one looks a little bigger, so I did make it a little bit longer, so it does have a little bit bigger of a neck opening. And that's again just with the pewter buttons. And then these are with some more handmade buttons. So this is with, again, the same number of rows and all that for the 2 button ones. But because it's with thinner yarn, and this is really soft yarn, it looks a little smaller. And again, these are buttons, handmade buttons again, that are actually, I kind of painted a turquoise in the background, a teal-y turquoise kind of thing. And then it's actually rusted screen in there, just for that kind of texture. And I thought the colors looked good with that one. So that's another really soft one. And then this one was a lot of fun. This is Isaac Mizrahi yarn, and I just love the crazy colors of it. But I had made these buttons, and they're not going to show in here, but they have a little of that sparkle spray I use in my paper craft in there, and they're kind of aged a little bit with my vintage photo. But those were made from wrapping paper, but then they're all resin, so they're durable, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You could wash this, I would do it by hand and just be very careful, but they're all in resin, so they should be fine. And then the other thing that I do on these, I'm going to say that, and then I haven't done it on this one. This one is a thicker yarn, so it tends to hold the shape of the buttonholes better. So I didn't do it on this one, but I will show you on maybe a thinner one that I did. Let's see. I did it on this one. I think on this one I probably have done it, yeah. So this is a different style. This is a 3-button one, but I'm going to show you kind of what I do on if the yarn is kind of loose like this. Your buttonholes could stretch out, it's just knitted. So, and this one also, it's kind of hard to maybe find the buttonholes because it's that curly kind of homespun yarn. So what I do on those is I actually use my button thread or craft thread, which is real thick, and I actually stitch the sides of that buttonhole so that it won't stretch out too much. And then you can also find it. So if you just kind of feel around, you'll feel like a knot, and that is the buttonhole for the button. And the other thing that I kind of suggest too, this one's a 3-button one, and this is kind of the poofiest of all of them. I'll show you another 3-button ones that aren't so poofy, but for these I like to roll the collar. If you have it kind of like this, it makes your neck hole look really small, and you could wear it like that, I guess, and just kind of have it scrunched. It's gonna wear like a cowl more, but I kind of like to roll that collar. The other thing is I have seen people that I know that buy them and then wear them where they've unbuttoned them and then they button them back, and they don't button them back right. They'll button them, I'll show you on this one. So what I suggest is just leave it buttoned. It goes like this. You want to kind of do it in a triangle where this is at the bottom and cross over because the buttonholes are here. But I've seen people try to do this, and it's not right, or twisted or something. So if you might find another cute way to wear it, but that's the intention, is for it to kind of have a point down at the bottom and then button it off to the side because the buttons kind of step up the side. So this is a really fuzzy homespun thick and quick yarn. And in my descriptions, in the title and in the description, I put the actual yarn that I use, the name and color of it. And then I also put the content, because some people are allergic to wool, and so they don't want anything that has any wool content. So I'll always put the content, and that information I'm taking right off of the label of my yarn, so you'll know what you're getting. And same with the buttons. I'll put where they're made, and same with the yarn, where it's made, and the content. So these buttons are really pretty. This one it's hard to find reds in yarn, I think, that are really rich and pretty. And this is really kind of a burgundy color. And so I had found these buttons that are just really pretty. So that is a 3-button one. And I have some other 3-button ones. These are actually the same exact number of rows and stitches, but you can see how much smaller they look because they're with regular yarn, not with that big poofy, thick and quick homespun yarn. So this one again has 3 of those pewter buttons. This is really, really soft yarn on this one too. And it's just a nice weight. Again, I like to roll the collar of that. You don't have to, but I kind of like to do that. And then this one again is another really soft yarn, another full metal button. And then what do I have here? This is thicker. This is a thicker, heavier yarn, more chunky looking, and again some kind of vintagey looking acrylic buttons. This one is kind of in a charcoal kind of a, it's not in black, it's just a dark charcoal with little flecks of color in it. Let's see, what else do I have here? I have more of these really puffy ones. These tend to be really popular. It's really hard to say, you know, which ones I sell the most of, but these are have such a nice, luxurious kind of feel that are really a kind of a popular one. Again, this one I've done with the pewter buttons. These are all the same kind of yarn, the homespun, thick and quick yarn. But they have so many colors in that yarn that I tend to try to do a huge variety of that. This again is like the dark charcoal color. And then this one is kind of a striped color. So it's got some kind of caramely and white mixed, or kind of a cream mixed. And then these have the heart buttons again. And then this one, I ended up using a lot of these buttons too, because I had someone bought them for like everyone for Christmas last year. And so I bought a whole bunch of these buttons because she specifically wanted these. She had, you know, daughters in their 20-somethings and nieces and that kind of thing. And these reminded her of like Harry Potter, or kind of steampunky kind of thing. They're really lightweight. They're plastic kind, you know, buttons, but they have a really nice metal look. So they're not metal, but they look like metal. And they're kind of that antique bronzy color. So I've done a lot of them with this button. And again, these all come in, these yarns are variegated and striped. So I might do the same color, but they'll all look different because of where the pattern in the stripe starts and stops. So that's just another, I just love these really puffy ones. And then what else do I have? The other style, and I have a lot of these too. I'm only going to show you a couple, but I call these my keyhole, a keyhole scarf. And these are just great for your, you know, overcoat kind of look. And I sell a lot of this style. The 2-button one, which was a man's pattern to start with. So I try to do some of those in more masculine colors and buttons for men. And then these keyhole ones are great for men because there's no buttons. And then I try to do, again, a lot of just really kind of neutral colors so that they'll go with a lot of things. So these are just a couple of those. And basically it's just a shorter scarf with a little hole in here that you can just pull through the other end. You don't have to worry about tying it. And so this is kind of nice because it's just kind of like a necktie kind of thing. So it doesn't, you know, it's not too bulky, but it keeps you really nice and warm. So I have that style too. And then another style that I started making just last year it's from the Outlander series on HBO, I guess it is, Outlander, the show. There's actually a knitting pattern book for some of the knitted things that they wear in the show Outlander. And I can't remember, somebody had asked me for something from Outlander. And so I thought, you know, this is kind of a neat, this is called the Gathering Scarf. and it's a scarf, but it's sewn together at the end, so it's really just one big loop. So you can kind of, if you don't have anything hanging around, it's just kind of making a nice little cowl or turtlenecky kind of thing to wear around your neck. You just put it on over your head. So that's kind of a fun one, and I really like the pattern. It shows up better with certain yarns than others because it has this nice twisted cable. So this is kind of my preferred yarn for this one, and I really like the colors. They're all kind of those moody, you know, outlander colors, darker colors. So there's several colors of this same type of yarn that I've used, and then I did it with kind of a lighter weight, softer yarn. The pattern still shows up, but this one is maybe not as thick and sturdy feeling as this one. This one's still really soft, but it's more, I mean, if you've watched Outlander, it's just more of that, you know, kind of substantial, where this one is just ends up being a little thinner and softer. But again, I did it kind of in those darker colors. So it ends up just being a little bit smaller of a thing around your neck. And then this one, again, is with that really fluffy yarn, which I love. It ends up looking much wider, and it's not still same in number of stitches and everything. The pattern shows up a lot less in that twisted cable because of the type of yarn that it is, but it's the same. And again, it ends up just being another twisted thing, but this is just a really yummy, yummy, yummy cowl around your neck, and super, super soft. So that was another one of those. So like I said, if you see anything on my site, on my Etsy shop, you'll know the yarn. In case you're a knitter too, you'll know the yarn I used, and then you can, you know, maybe make a scarf or something. So I decided in that case, and because I was going to be using my buttons for my own scarves that I make, that I would also offer those for sale. So I have a few packs. I do them in 2s or in 3s, and the reason being is because that's how my neck warmers either have 2 buttons or 3 buttons, and because they're each handmade, you know, they're not identical to each other. So I try very hard to find 2 that look really good together, so that if they're sewn onto something, that they match, or at least match well enough to, you know, be on the same scarf. So these are all just a variety of different materials. These are cork. I don't know if you can see that. I guess it'd be better if they were out of the package, but you know, and then these are some that I made out of eyelet fabric and put in the resin. So they're just a variety of things, but they're all on, these kind of look like birch. Let me take one out of the package so you can really see. And I've made all my own packaging from handmade paper that I made out of recycled book page, believe it or not. And anyway, that's the birch button. So you can see they're really shiny, like they're acrylic or something, but it's because they're with jeweler's grade resin. So those are the buttons. I may do another video at maybe once a week. I'll do something, a different item of jewelry, you know, bracelets one week and necklaces another week or something like that, just so you can kind of see what I do and see some of the other things. So as a little thank you for watching this video, I am going to give you a coupon code so that you can get 20% off your order if you want to order something off my Etsy shop. And that coupon code is EASY20, and it's easy with all caps, no space, and then the number 20. And you'll get 20% off. So if you have any special requests or anything, you know, you can send me a message. But that's kind of just an overview of some of the things that I have in my Etsy shop. So it's time to start your Christmas shopping if you haven't already. And I do kind of, you know, if it's jewelry or something like that, I do wrap it in a cute little box. If it's a gift, you can let me know it's a gift, but then let me know the occasion and I can include a card. That's if it's going direct to, if I'm shipping direct to the recipient. You know, if I'm sending it to you, then, and you're giving it to them, you know, you can do whatever you want for that. But if I'm going to if it's a neck warmer, I wrap it in a pretty tissue with a nice little sticker on it, and then it comes in a bubble bag, so it doesn't get wet or anything like that. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. Now I'm going to go make something. Bye.